Primate research has the capacity to provide major medical advances of our time. But, as it is controversial, there are many things that hold it back. As with every controversy, it had a beginning. In order to understand the history of primate research, we must go to Bergamo, modern-day Pergamum. It is there that we find Galen of Pergamum, a philosopher and scientist of the mid-17th century who began vivisection on primates. His studies changed much of medical theory of the time. It was he who recognized that the ape is likest to man in viscera, muscles, arteries, veins, nerves, and in the form of bones. It was these similarities that form the basis of why we use primates today in research. But as with all scientists, Galen had his skeptics, coming from Brussels, Belgium. Seeking to disprove Galen, Andreas Vesalius published a comparative anatomy report of the differences between ape and man. Unfortunately for him, he did not succeed in disproving the claims. Rather, he brought a great deal of publicity to the use of apes and other primates in the biological field. This publicity reached its apex in Shrewsbury, where in 1859, Charles Darwin published The Origin of Species. As many of you know, the publication details the evolutionary process from prehistoric primates into our modern-day man. Regardless of whether or not this is true, it does form the basis of why we use primates today in research, for if they are so similar, they hold a great deal of potential. With the years has come technological advancements. The American Society of Human Genetics has been able to prove that over 90% of primate DNA is exactly the same as our own. So why, if they're so similar, do primates make up only 0.1% of research animals? It is therein that we must find the difference between what is necessary science and what is unnecessary cruelty. Stephen Wise, president of the Non-Human Rights Project Incorporated, firmly believes that rights should be allotted to animals based on intelligence levels. Since primates have often proved their intelligence, he believes that we are infringing upon those rights by performing any tests upon them. And although this does not happen in every case, there are certain times when it is understandable why people would be so against animal testing.
This footage was shot undercover inside Covance laboratories, where monkeys and dogs are used in painful, deadly tests to market drugs. Covance workers punched, smacked, and psychologically tormented the animals. Sick and dying monkeys were left without veterinary care. Covance is currently being investigated by 2 federal agencies for serious violations of the law, but these crude, irrelevant tests must be replaced with high-tech, reliable methods. Please visit CovanceCruelty.com to find out how you can help.
It is these sort of circumstances that bring the entire concept of primate research to shame. But not every organization works that way. In fact, some of them really do take care of their animals. These monkeys of the Oregon Health and Science University clearly have been given everything they need. It is the goal of the scientists there to provide them with the most normal life that they can have, while still having benefits for the greater good of humanity. The goal is not to be cruel to these creatures, but simply to see if we can benefit from them, and in doing so, help everyone. In fact, research conducted at the Kunming Institute of Zoology in China has proven that monkeys and other non-human primates are invaluable for cancer research. So, following Stephen Wise's principle, though it may seem more ethical to use mice and rats in research, their bodies simply do not react the way ours do under certain drugs. Because of this, certain responses can't be replicated in a clinical setting. But with primates, they can. At the University of Arizona College of Medicine, a great deal of specificity was used in cancer research. the scientists were able to prevent ovarian cancer through the use of primates. After this success, imagine where they can go from there. There will always be people against experimentation, not only on monkeys, but on all animals. The only way we can have forward movement, however, is by strict adherence to regulations. These regulations come in many forms, such as from the Association for Assessment and Accreditation of Laboratory Animal Care International, the United States Department of Agriculture, the Institutional Animal Care and Use Committee, and the Animal Welfare Association. All can truly be centralized around the 3 R's of animal research: replacing animals, working without them whenever possible, reducing the number of animals, using the least amount possible for best research, and refining techniques so that with technological advances we can treat them with the most respect and least amount of pain. Despite its controversial nature, the goal of all parties involved should be the welfare of these animals, for they simply have so much to offer.